Welcome back to our channel. I'm Asia.
And I'm Colby.
And today we're going to give you guys 5 do's and 5 don'ts for your first date. We've been on a lot of first dates in our life, and so we feel qualified enough from our personal experiences to share some tips with you guys on what's worked for us and what hasn't worked for us, and basically what we've had our best success with, just so that it makes the process easier for you guys. I don't know, maybe you're just starting to date, or maybe you're hopping back into the dating field and you kind of want to know how to navigate it now. This will help you out with that.
All right, so let's get started.
So our first do is put your best foot forward. And I know a lot of advice tells you be yourself, and that's definitely true. But you want to be the self that you would want to date. Now, if you're going on a date and you barely brushed your hair and you took a shower 2 days ago, like, is anybody really going to want to go on a second date with you? Would you want to go on a second date with you? Probably not, right? So put your best foot forward. You want to show up on time. You want to show up well-groomed. You want to show up ready to see where this could go and excited about the date that you're going on. You don't want to show up and be like, I just accepted this date. It's just whatever, you know. I don't really care. Like, nobody wants to be around someone that doesn't seem like they want to be there. So be the best version that you can be, that's also sustainable while you're going on your date.
Don't be fake.
Yeah, don't be fake. Putting your best foot forward is not being fake. It's not going out there and be like, hi, how are you? That's not what we're talking about. Putting your best foot forward is being as confident and as comfortable as you can be, and just being in the moment and really filling out the date and really enjoying the date. That's all it means.
The second tip is relax. It may seem nerve-wracking. It may seem like it's a big deal. Don't panic. Don't stress out. There's no reason to work yourself into this frenzy where you're going to be constantly second-guessing yourself. You're constantly worrying about everything that's going to happen. You're going to be worrying about every little thing she does, every little thing you do. You're going to make yourself sick. The point of a date is to have fun and get to know the other person. That's it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You just have to relax. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Don't psych yourself out.
Do number 3. Wear something comfortable, but dress for the occasion. You don't want to wear something that's uncomfortable on the first date. You want to make sure you're used to your clothes. You want to be comfortable in what you're wearing so that you can be comfortable in your environment. You also don't want to wear things that do not fit the occasion. That means you don't want to go hiking in a pair of sandals or in a pair of heels. You don't want to go to putt-putt mini golf in 4-inch heels. You don't want to go bowling in a tuxedo. These are things that don't fit the occasion. You want to be comfortable in what you're wearing, but you want to match wherever you're going.
Fun fact for you, according to Asia's sister, she wore the same dress on nearly every first date she ever had.
That's unnecessary information, and I didn't wear the same dress on every date that I had. I wore the same dress on 3 different occasions, and they fit all 3 occasions, and that's that.
Fourth tip, do pick a place you'll both enjoy. So there's this common belief, especially with guys, and girls do this too, that, oh, we're picking on a first date. What do we do? Dinner and a movie. No, do not do dinner in a movie. The point of the first date is to get to know the other person. To do that, you want to be in a fun environment where you two can talk and laugh and have excitement. If you do dinner and a movie, half your date is spent sitting in silence, not talking to each other. On the first date, kind of counterintuitive. Pick something you're both going to enjoy. Ideally, you should be talking to this person. You should know a thing about them already. So think about things that they would enjoy doing. We need to remove this stigma that one person, either the guy or the girl, should just perfectly form the date idea themselves. If you're both going on this date, it means you both want it to go kind of well, which means, in my opinion, you can both kind of put in the work here.
Great tips, my love.
Thank you.
Do number 5. Make sure you mind your body language. You want to appear open. And this goes for guys and women. You don't want to be sitting there like this, or sitting on your phone, or looking up at the ceiling, or staring at the waiter. You want to look open. You want to look like you want to be here. While you want to have open body language, don't be way too open. Don't grab on somebody like this and you just met them 3 minutes ago. Don't do that. Be respectful of their body and their space. Be mindful of your body language as well. And just give off the energy that you want to be there, because hopefully you want to be there. And if you've been tricked into going on a date, please get out of there immediately. But if you want to go there with that person, then you want to appear open. You want to maybe keep your arms out like this, or, you know, relax your shoulders. You don't want to look hunched over and scared. You want to smile. You want your eyes to look bright and open. You want to be excited. You might raise your voice when you talk or move your hands or something like that. All of this is very good body language to have for a man or a woman. You both can appear open and inviting.
So we've done the do's, now let's do the don'ts. Don't turn it into an interview. This is a date. The goal of the date is to get to know them organically. Get them to tell you stories, and when they ask questions, you want to be telling them stories too. Avoid those like awkward interview type questions. So like, so, what do you do for a living? That's interesting. So, are you from here originally? Avoid kind of questions like that. Those are questions you should probably already have the answer to if you're on a first date. Ask them about, have they ever been here before? Have they ever done something like this? You want to get to know them, you want to ask questions, but you don't want to turn into an interview. And this goes beyond just asking the questions too. It also goes kind of based on how you're sitting. When Aiden and I went on our first date, we went out to brunch together. And when we sat at the table, I made sure that I sat in the seat next to her. Because that's so much more casual and inviting. Whereas you're sitting across the table, it kind of gives that impression of like you're looking up, staring straight at this person who's asking questions, which is exactly what you do in an interview room. It's not fun, it creates unnecessary stress, and it kills the vibe. And you should not be killing the vibe.
Don't number 2. Do not, and I repeat, do not stop talking before the date. I know so many people, and I've even had it happen to me before I've gone on a first date, where like the person you're going on a date with completely ghosts you before the date. And it's not even like they ghost you, like they actually ghost you and never talk to you. They show up on the date. You go on the date, but you've been sitting there for like the past 3-4 days, like, where was this guy? Like, where was that girl at? We scheduled the date and I never heard from her again until the day of the date. You guys can still get to know each other prior to the date. Like, just because you have a date scheduled doesn't mean that you guys don't have to talk anymore. You don't have to continue to get to know each other. You can still inform this person about your day. You can still talk about funny stories. You can still mention your hobbies. They can still mention their hobbies. Like, you guys can still communicate before the date. It doesn't have to stop just because you have a date.
Exactly. Don't number 3, don't be negative. Date is supposed to be fun, especially the first date. If you've had a bad day, if there's something going on, don't bring that into the date. If it's something so bad that there's no way you can bring in a date, tell your date like, hey, can we reschedule? If you're going into a date and she asks about job or like how was work that day, if work was bad, don't lay into her about how bad your day was. Don't bring the mood down like that. You know, just kind of like, work was where it was. If there's a funny story, tell a funny story, but don't bring down the mood. You should always be talking, always be laughing, always be smiling.
Please don't be rude to your waiters. Like, please.
Or your date.
A big red flag. Being rude to a waiter, being rude to other people in the surrounding area. That's like the quickest way to make your date run that way.
The way your date treats wait staff is how they will eventually treat everyone.
Don't number 4 is don't overshare. And we touched on that briefly a little bit in don't number 3. But what we mean is, don't you go out on this date and tell us about how your ex left you 3 years ago with $10 to your name and she broke your contract and then smashed the windows out your car and she ran to your mom's house and slapped her. Like, what are you doing? No. Because the first thing that someone's going to think is, well, why would they do all that? What did you do? This is information that you share with your friends, not information that you go out on a first date with a stranger and share with them.
The best way to avoid oversharing is to not be constantly talking. So if you feel like you're dominating the conversation, stop talking. Let your date talk. You should be asking questions. There should be a natural flow to the date of they say something and then you respond. Conversation is a two-way street. So the way to avoid oversharing is to not be the only one talking.
If you feel like you've shared 3 facts within the span of 2 minutes, you're talking too much.
Moral of the story, let the other person get a word in edgewise. And if you're on a date and you're on the flip side, they're not letting you get a word in edgewise,
probably wouldn't go for a second one.
Leave. This is the one tip to make your dates a success. This is the one thing you need. Doctors don't want you to know this one tip. You see this? Everyone's got one. It's in your pocket. You play it all the time. It's so fun. You can check Twitter. You can check social media, Facebook, Snapchat. You can text your mom. You can call your dad. You can do all that kind of stuff. Not on a date. Keep it off. You should be focusing on your date, on having a fun and enjoyable time. You should not be on your phone. Sure, are there some exceptions? Yes, like maybe there might be an emergency. If you're dating with children, maybe you need to have your phone around in case like your babysitter calls or something like that. But a situation like that is different from just being on your phone. If you're in a situation like that where you may need to suddenly check your phone, let your date know. Don't just be doing it out of the blue, and don't be using that as an excuse to be on your phone anyway. Being on your phone on a date looks rude because it looks like you're not paying attention to your date, like you're not caring. And if your date gets the idea that you're not caring, they're not going to care, and they're going to wonder why they're wasting their Friday night.
If you're on your phone, you're not fully invested and focused on the date anyway, so you're not going to even get as much as you could have gotten out of the date. Like, you want to be focused with whoever you're on a date with so that you can know if this is the person you want to go on a second date with. You're not going to be able to know that if you were scrolling on Instagram half the time. Of course they seem like a nice person. You barely talk to them.
Moral story, don't be on your phone.
That basically wraps up our video for today. We just wanted to give you guys some quick do's and don'ts for your first dates, especially because Valentine's Day is coming up. So we just want to give you guys a couple tips, help you out a little bit, teach you what we've learned, and maybe they'll help you out and you can secure you a nice little thing. So we hope you guys enjoyed these tips. Hopefully you guys will put them into action. If you do, let us know in the comments down below. We'd love to hear your stories. And we will see you guys in our next video.
Later days.
Later.